going on, people? Meant to drop a review earlier this week, but I got sick and I lost my voice and I couldn't talk for about 2 to 3 days. So finally feeling a little better. And holidays have passed, so my work schedule's freed up a little bit. So I got time to talk and ramble on. So back with another album review, and today I'm going to talk about the album To Dust by the group Built to Fade. Built to Fade is a group that consists of No from Cunning Linguist. Hopefully y'all know who that group is. That's personally one of my favorite hip-hop groups, and No is one of my favorite producers. And it also consists of three vocalists, Dane Ferguson, Zoe Wick, and Anna Wise of the group Sunny Moon. If you listen to Cunning Linguist, you probably heard Anna Wise before. I know she did a track on the Neurology album. She had a feature on there, and she also had a guest. I think she had a guest feature on Kendrick Lamar's album, or she's worked with him before. So, but yeah, that's the group that seemingly just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I'm a fan of Cunning Linguist on Facebook, and they randomly just kind of dropped this project, or they dropped the idea saying that they were coming up with this group, and I pretty much checked it out because I'm a big fan of No's production. So I wanted to I would have bought this off his production alone. But to get into the album, the first time I listened to it, it didn't really stick with me at first. Like I downloaded it, listened to it, and it's not that I thought it was bad, but like I don't know, nothing really stuck out to me. So I listened to it once, and I was like, it's okay. And then it just kind of sat there. And then one night I was kind of bored, wasn't nothing to do, and I was scrolling through my iTunes, and I just happened to come across it again. So I was like, let me sit down and give this another listen. And then the second time I listened to it was when it finally like clicked with me, and I was like, man, this is a really good record. Production wise, it definitely didn't disappoint. The production style could be described as, I don't know, it's kind of weird because on the Bandcamp page, they tag it as folktronica, which is actually a pretty good description of it. It's a nice mix of acoustic tracks blended in with, if you've heard No's production before, a lot of this album reminds me of beats you might have heard off of like on Neurology. They have that kind of dark, some of them have that kind of dark, mellow, like atmospheric feel to them, and it goes well with the three vocalists he has, which is the next point I want to bring up. The vocalists, all three bring their own kind of different flavor to the table. Dane Ferguson has more of a kind of a smooth, soft, mellow voice. Zoe Wick has a very, very unique voice. I guess I say I can't really describe it, but it's very distinguishable, and you'll definitely notice it when you hear. And Anna Wise has a very like kind of soft, kind of haunting voice too at times. So he picked three good vocalists to go over these instrumentals, and just the moods of the track are so, I don't know, but he did a really, really good job of just setting the mood with these tracks, with the instrumentals that he made. Theme wise, topics of love, lost, just a lot of things in that whole realm. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. It's not crazy intricate, but the delivery for me is what made this album such a good listen. Really, the only downside I could say to this was that this album was really short. Only 10 tracks. I'm gonna guess off the top of my head and say in total this album may have been, I don't know, 35 minute listen. And I felt like by the time I was really getting into it and I was deciding that I really liked it was when it just kind of stopped. Which I guess that's a good thing, But it's better to have a short, good album than them extend it to 18 tracks and then you just get a bunch of filler. And I think I could have went with, instead of 10, I think I could have squeezed like 12 maybe 14 tracks, I would have been happy. But this was still, still good. Not really any filler. I can't really think of any tracks I don't like on here. I love how the album starts off with the track To Dust, which is like an instrumental track. It really sets the mood for the album. Acoustic guitar and a lot of violins in the background. And then it goes into Angel, which is probably my favorite track on the album, and also one of the ones that I think they did a video for. And this is Dane Ferguson pretty much steals this track. He's the vocalist on it, and it's a really just smooth track of him talking about him losing, someone, his significant other, or just someone that he really cared about. Dark Knight was another really good track on here. I love the beat to this track. It reminded me of when I first heard this beat. My first thought was, man, he should have saved this for a Cunnilingus album, because it just had that feel. Like I could picture Natty and Deacon the Villain going in over this. And I think Zoe Wick. I think this was Zoe Wick who was on that track, and she did a really good job. Static was another good track on here. Once again, though, had a great production, that smooth atmospheric feel to it. Dane Ferguson again on the vocals. A track of him talking about just kind of being addicted and infatuated with this person who he's either he's with or he's seeking to be with. And Let It Go was another good track. I love how he used DJ cuts and scratches in the production. It was a nice mix up to the production. But yeah, overall, man, I think this is a sleeper album, I would say. I definitely didn't really have any expectations going in, aside from I was expecting good production, which I definitely got. I can't, like, to me, that was what carried the album. And it's not that the vocalists were bad or anything, but just that whole dark mood and atmospheric feeling mixed in with, just Cunnilingus type beats that you're used to hearing to, but having vocalists go over them instead of, people rapping. And it's a really just good mixture of those two worlds combining. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this. Definitely, man, I recommend giving it a listen. A lot of these tracks remind me of, like, a lot of these the vocals, I would say, remind me of something you would hear over, like, just a regular acoustic tracks. But instead of just straight acoustic, you get this crazy, you get this nice production from No. And the vocalists, like I said, they all do their thing. They all have their own standout styles. And even though they all have different styles, and the mood from this album, it changes a little bit throughout, but it's still a cohesive, solid listen. The album isn't all over the place in every direction. But yeah, man, they did a good job of putting this together. Hopefully this group stays together. I'd be interested to see when they drop another project what direction they would go in. Yeah, like I said, man, 10 tracks. None of these are really bad. Once again, my favorites were Angel, Dark Knight, Static, Let It Go, and the intro track To Dust, which was a good opener. But even the rest of the tracks, Willie Sutton was good. Where Are They Now was good. I like the Actress. That was a good track. Like, really, none of these tracks are really bad. It's just those were the other ones I listed were the 5 for me that just stood out the most. But yeah, go check this out. Give it a listen. It might surprise you like it did me. And hopefully next I'll be back with a album review sooner or later. Hopefully the weather doesn't strike me down again. But yeah, if you've heard it, let me know if you like it. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. And until next time, peace.